Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average 9 to 5. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the recent episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I hope everyone is doing well in quarantimes, but so I think it is important to talk about other things too, like reality TV, which is something that we can keep our mind off of when you want to get away from the news that you can't really escape from lately. And since we're trying to find things to do other than maybe hopefully reading books, taking walks, playing with pets, and playing games with your friends and people that you're quarantined with, your family, most likely. But so different reality shows that I'm definitely going to be promoting on this podcast or talking about is the ones that I usually watch, which is Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Vanderpump Rules. So those are just a few of them that I like to recap on each week. And I think it's good to get somebody's perspective who isn't in the limelight. It's like a regular person just who's been watching these shows for years, just like a lot of other people have been. So I'm going to be doing that. I think like the premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians was really an intense episode. Definitely going to show what kind of season this is going to be. And I'm going to talk a little bit about just my personal opinion and what I thought of the episode, along with against any sides. I'm not taking any sides on anybody's like personal ideas of like I already have my opinions on the people individually, but I do think there is a lot to be said just in general on what's going on recently. I did want to talk a little bit about, the good that some celebrities are doing right now, which you could be seeing through what Kylie did by donating $1 million. My friend actually told me about that, and how she saw actually on Twitter people were like, that's not enough money, you make more than that. And it kind of shows that people need to be grateful that at least people are supporting and trying to help in any way that they can, and you should be grateful that that's happening. Of course, it's funny to like make fun of celebrities here and there, like it's not so bad being in quarantine in your mansion and things like that, but otherwise I think when people do donate and they do good things, you should be grateful and you should say thank you, and you should try to do your part as well. So I think that is important for everyone to see. I also think it's interesting, with everything going on, just everything that like celebrities have been doing and regular people, and just like seeing everyone come together in such a big way, even though there has been like negatives that have happened and disappointing things that people have done, you also see the good that people are doing as well, which is important during this time. I think that's really powerful, and I even think right now I watched I watched The Tiger King, and that to me was a very interesting show that I'm sure a lot of people have been watching in quarantine, that I thought was, really showed how despicable people can be in our society, not just in other countries, but in our own country, with regulation on animals, and how animals should be more protected and on so many different levels, and how they're not being treated the way that they should be treated. And especially exotic animals, there's no way that they should ever be treated the way that they were in that show and in real life and today, and not just like because that was in the past, and you would think like, oh, that's far away from us, that's in Florida, that's in this place, we don't do that here, that's on a screen, so it's like disassociated from reality. No, that's actually happening. And you just think about even the crisis we're going through now, and if that really did start the way people think it started, then we really need to look at public health and safety and how we eat animals as well. and how we treat animals and the sanitation process of that, because it's clearly not working very well for us. And I think there's a lot that needs to be changed. And I think a lot of people can agree with me on that. So that's just a little bit of that I wanted to talk about. But on a lighter note, we are seeing like people come together. Even those videos of people in New York singing on their balconies and doing their part and just really supporting all the essential workers that need to be out, and the nurses, the doctors, everybody, the delivery workers, just every level, the sanitation workers, just so many different kinds of people who are really out there on the front lines. And there's a lot of good that is being done, and we need to keep supporting each other in every single way that we can. But I think it is important, since this has been extended for another month. We're all probably going to be watching a lot of television. Obviously, there's other things that we can be doing as well. But I think it is, okay for us to have those times to just kind of think of other things and get your mind off of things. So that's why I'm going to be talking about the season premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I mean, it started off with Kim going to New York for her Skims line, and she ran into Tristan. And I think what they're trying to do is make Tristan look better, because I think Khloe doesn't want it to look so negative towards the media. So I kind of see through what they're doing a little bit. I think Kim and Khloe are trying to make Tristan look better. They're trying, which is good, because that's the father of her kids, so she wants to make him look good, and they want them to be, in an amicable relationship, which makes complete sense. And I'm sure Kim wants to make amends with him publicly, so people see that, like, they've moved on, that, like, the relationship is better, and just kind of move forward with that. Then you kind of see a little bit of a funnier thing where, Kylie is supposed to go to the Balenciaga show in Paris, and she had all these obligations and she's not going, and then Chris is freaking out, and it's really funny. Like, I can't even imagine what it would be like if your mom was like, no, please come, Kim, please, like, take Kylie's place, I'll give you $300,000 to go on a private jet to Paris. It's like, and Kim's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's like, what is the price that she would actually do it for? But that's really funny to me. It's like, that's pretty crazy. And then, like, the mom, like, amps it up to $400K. And I felt so bad. Like, obviously she didn't want to look bad because she had to make this come together somehow. But I didn't really like how Kim was, like, trying to make herself look so good that she always comes through when she wasn't coming through. It's like, girl, you can't have it both ways. You can't talk about all the times you did come through when you're not coming through this time. So that was kind of fake, in my opinion, of Kim. And I also think this kind of goes back to what's going on with Kim right now anyway, with the whole Taylor thing, where Kim always tries to make herself look so good and edit and make the narrative. Even on the show, you see that. People are so easily manipulated into believing Kim's side because she's so enraveled with the production side of things. So of course she's going to make herself look better through the narrative that she's creating. So I think that's so fake. And I also think production kind of works with her a lot and kind of like is a bully towards other people on the show. Another thing is, back to what I was saying, was I think Kim, with what she did with Taylor, is that she tried to make herself sound better, tried to make her side of the story look better, but people saw right through that when, like, the full tape came out of what actually happened between Taylor and Kanye, and how Kim was trying to make it seem a certain way when it wasn't that way. And I think that's really just telling of kind of how Kim is, who she is as a person. She tries to do a lot of things that I think are positive, and I think she's doing them. But then I think on other levels, she needs to, like, learn when it's time for her to step aside and not be a manipulative bitch, because that's what she really is. in a lot of different places in her life. And instead, I rather just her focus her entire energy to more positive things that she could be doing, which I think she does. But now I'm saying, like, completely change everything then. You can't be a complete and utter idiot and bully and then also be a lawyer. It's like, pick. Which one are you going to be? Because you gotta pick. You can't be both. Period. You cannot be both. So that's how I feel. Second, I think, like, as the episode was going on, we get to the part, you know, all these little quips where you can see the tension building with Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, all this stuff happening on the side with the mom, Kris Jenner. Everyone's freaking out. Then you get to the real point of the show, the last scene where we're all waiting for it. We're all ready for it. And we're like, damn, what is about to happen? What is about to happen? And that's where it all kind of, like, what we've all been waiting for. Like, it all boils over. And I was talking to some of my friends about this. Like, we literally were like, this is complete and utter classlessness. And even Kourtney was like, we were like legitimately complete and utter trash in that scene. She even admits it, which is, I think, better than what the others did. But it kind of starts out with how Kim is shading Kourtney yet again as such a complete and utter, like, she can't help herself. She's like, yeah, like, we always do the right thing. Like, Khloe, like, they're just not used to, like, Kris, my mom, is just not used to Kylie and the others because Kim and because me and Court, and she's like, wait, no. I mean, me and Khloe always come through, not Court, like, basically saying that. And then all of a sudden Kendall's like, yeah, I come through too. And Kim's like, no, you have anxiety. Like, you just, like, don't come through. Like, no. And then Kendall gets so mad. And then I feel like Court's, like, trying to defend herself. She's trying to defend Kendall. And she's like, you are so fake. All you care about is your business. You don't care about family. You have no loyalty. And it's so true. Kim is fake. Like, she's made her business on being a fake person. And so, like, Kourtney is so much more authentic. She gets so much more shit. Yes, people think she's miserable to watch, like, all these different things, but at least she's authentic. And even with Kourtney, like, that's why things need to change. That's why, like, if Kourtney leaves, like, I was talking to my friends about this, so, like, they saw the tweet, Kourtney says she's leaving. Everyone wants her to leave. That's fine. Because, like, this has been going on for 3 seasons. Everybody gets so sick of seeing them have the same argument, and this needed to happen. Like, this was going to happen. This was inevitable because they needed a fight because the tension kept building and building and building. And I think Court finally had enough, because of course she's going to be miserable, because she's going to be miserable because, yes, it's hard for her to be around people who are rude and constantly at her throat, and those are supposed to be her family. It shouldn't feel like a job to be around your family. That's an issue. That shows that they are very business oriented. They do not care about her as a person. They're not fun to be around. Kim and Khloe are rude. They're gross. Like, in my opinion. Other people might not think they're gross. I think they're gross. That's just me, and I thought that before. But in this situation, if you don't like Kourtney, that's fine. If you think she's in the wrong, that's fine. She's leaving the show. But I think they all played a part. I think there's truth in the middle. There's a middle truth here where everyone has a part to play and they're not playing fair. And I think they've all reached their breaking point, and that clearly showed in this very trash way of, like, dealing with it, which happens all the time with sisters, but it just blew up to this whole other level. And it was insane. It was literally insane. So, Kourtney may have started it. She threw a water bottle at Kim because clearly she was pissed off. Honestly, Kendall was pissed off. Kourtney was pissed off. Kim should have just said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said these things. This is why I said them. I apologize. It's not fair for me to say those things. That's what Kim should have said. And then it should have been like, Kendall would have been like, you know what, you're pushing buttons, Kim. You're a bitch, which she is. And then, I just think though that Kourtney had been pushed to this level for so long, constantly being like yapped and yapped and yapped at. Of course she's miserable, like with these girls. She doesn't want to be around people who treat her like that. Like, who would ever want to be around that? Like, Kourtney can do whatever the fuck she wants. Like, she doesn't have to be around these bitches, to be really honest. And now she's leaving the show because the show can't have just two main characters. Are you fucking insane? These idiots don't know what they're thinking. You think you don't want Kourtney on the show? It's just going to be about two people now because Kylie's barely on the show. Kendall's barely on the show. Chris is barely on the show. Scott's barely on the show. Rob doesn't even go on the show ever. So you really want it just to be about Kim and Khloe? They're the most boring people. Yes, Khloe's more interesting, but Kim is literally so boring. It can't just be about them. Like, that's so fake and it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Period, in my opinion. Okay, but I do think Kourtney needs to leave for a while because this dynamic is so overdid, so wrong, and it's just over with. You can tell Kourtney's mad at production too. You can tell she's starting to shade production. Because Kim is so wrong to make her have to pay for Kim's employees because they wanted to go on a trip. Kim wanted to go on a trip by herself with Scott. That would have been so awkward. So for the fact that Kourtney's like, oh, I'll come with my kids because that's what is a logical thing. Kim says, you know what? I'd rather have my nails salonist, my trainer, but fine, Kourtney, you're my sister with our kids who are really close. Yeah, I guess you guys can come instead, but you're going to have to pay for all my employees' plane ticket. Are you fucking kidding me? I would never. And then it's a show. So obviously, you know what? Production then should pay for it if Kim's not going to pay for it. But no, production's up Kim's butt because she's a fucking bitch. And honestly, that's fine. Okay? Because you know what? If Kourtney's mad at production, she can shade them because they're always on Kim's side anyway. Because Kim's always ready to work because she's a fucking psychopath. It's a fucking psychopath, really. So if Kourtney doesn't want to be part of the show, then she's going to shade production. Production's not going to like her. She's going to shade them more. But no, Kourtney should not have to pay for Kim's employees. Kim should pay for them. Done. I'll decide it for them right now. Next, I mean, if there's other parts of the story that we don't know, that's fine. But that's just how it looks to me right now. And as we go into the fight, back to where I was, Kourtney's clearly really over it. So she throws a water bottle at her sister. Fine. You know what? They're going to have a little altercation because maybe Kourtney kind of started it and started something. But Kim literally saw black. She took it to another, not red, she saw black. She literally saw demonic black. So I'm just saying this to be really fair. They were fighting, sisters fight. Kourtney scratches her. This happens, little slap here and there. But Kim literally lost her fucking mind. And she, instead of just going with it and just, as Kourtney's kind of okay, we fought, this is kind of not funny anymore. We need to leave the situation. This is not a safe situation. This is a toxic, classless, trashy situation. Rob said it best in his tweet. He's like, I thought this was Keeping Up with the Kardashians, not Bad Girls Club. And he said it right. But the thing that I will say is that Court did not take any, she was the most logical towards the end of it, where she tried to step away from the situation. She tried to walk away. And Kim was like, you stupid bitch. She saw black. She literally slapped her multiple times. That's where she took it too far. Kim took it too far. Kourtney might have started it and it might have been a little jokey and then they kind of take it a little too far and then whatever, let's end it. Kim literally took it so far and she slapped her a bunch of times towards the end. And that to me would be you're done. Your loyalty is over. And I'll pretend for our family. I'll pretend for the kids. Maybe I'll get over this. But I will never trust you. You know what I mean? When you get that mad. It's don't come at a bitch. That's how I feel. And I know they're both in the wrong. And maybe in a weird way, this helped with the tension because it was building so much. And this is kind of like where they're like, okay, things need to change. You know, like, she's my sister. I'm going to forgive her. But right now, there was just a lot of tension and like sisters fight. Kim took it too far. But Kourtney did start it. So it's like they're both in the wrong. They both know that. And on some level, you can move on. But things do need to change. And then we see, so next week, they're actually going to go to Armenia together for their kids. And maybe that will be like a healing experience for them together. Hopefully, they can just kind of move on. But the thing that I think, too, that adds a lot of issues for me is that, like, Khloe always tries to get in the middle. And I feel like that just makes it so much worse because that makes it like a gang up on thing now. Like, don't make it a gang up thing. She doesn't need to get involved. She's the least important to get involved. You know what I mean? It's just like, let Kourtney. Scott's defending Kourtney. You know it means business when Scott actually fucking for once defends Kourtney. So Scott's trying to defend Kourtney to Kim, saying like, you do not treat a girl like that. Like, you cannot treat your sister that way. Like, period. That's basically what he says. And maybe Kim kind of shuts the fuck up for once in her life. And Kourtney, you know, is like, I'm not really doing this show anymore. This is what needs to change. I'll go to Armenia, we'll have a healing experience, we'll bond as sisters again, and it will be a real relationship instead of just a business relationship. And then Khloe, it just needs attention, so she has to get in the middle. She'll probably start another problem again, but I'm sure Kourt will speak her mind. They'll finish it. And Kim and Kourt hopefully will heal their relationship. I don't know, but I think it's going to be a great season. It's going to be crazy. And I really hope things change because they're not working the way they are now. And it's just getting so annoying to watch, honestly. If things need to definitely change. So that's an interesting episode that I recapped. I think it was. But we'll keep going with that. And I'm really hoping that as time goes on, they can all just have separate relationships. I don't think that like 3 dynamic is working for them. I think Kourtney and Kim should have a relationship. Kourtney and Khloe should have a relationship. Kim and Khloe should have a relationship. And they should kind of honestly keep it more separate, in my opinion, and just move on and just live their life and be a family. And like whatever the dynamic needs to be, it definitely just needs to change. Okay, thanks for like listening to me rant, but I think what I said was pretty authentic to what's going on. But I hope you're having, you know, much more to watch. I want to do a recap of Vanderpump Rules soon, so that should be good. That was really good the past couple of weeks. It's been dramatic. It's been interesting, so there's a lot of talk about there as well. I know there's a lot of different things that we can be doing in quarantine, and there's a lot of funny videos out there definitely to watch to keep you kind of like laughing and in a good spirit that aren't like negative, but like more positive and funny. And you know, just there's lots to do in quarantine. There's books to read, there's rooms to clean, and definitely go outside in nature, take a walk, get away from your family for a little bit if you need to, but definitely just stay updated on reality TV if you want to as well. That's what I'll be doing, and definitely listen to more recaps of Not Your Average 9 to 5, and I will definitely be back soon. Thank you for tuning in.